Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, here with another episode of Night Sky this week for December 5th, 2022. Hope you had a great weekend. And we've got a nice week of sky watching in store for us. I think for all of us around the world. I hope you get some clear skies, particularly on Wednesday night. And I'll tell you more about that in just a second. Why don't we dive right in to our planetarium program? Here we are. We've got the night sky set up for December 5th, Monday. This is set for Montreal, where I am located, about 45th degree latitude parallel, halfway between the equator and the North Pole. So, but it's very similar to other major cities in mid-latitude Northern Hemisphere. And a lot of these things are also visible for you guys in the Southern Hemisphere as well, except, of course, the orientation is going to be different for you. But you'll see many of the similar objects, particularly when we're talking about planets. And right now, this is the setup that you'll see in the sky, looking from the northeast on the left side all the way to the southwest on the right-hand side of this image. And what you'll see is a stretch of worlds, different worlds, Mars, the Moon, Jupiter, and Saturn in a beautiful lineup right across a big chunk of the sky that you'll see about halfway up the sky for those of you in mid-northern latitudes. Again, some of this would be higher up or lower down in the sky, different orientation, different depending on where you are in the world. But these planets are all going to be visible for all of us, and the Moon as well. The Moon is heading towards becoming a full moon late Wednesday night, December 7th. And it's going to be very interesting as well, because the Moon is where all the action is in the next few nights. So let's dive right into that, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. So this is the Moon where it is. It's just on the edge of Taurus the Bull constellation. This is a major constellation in the winter skies of the Northern Hemisphere, late fall, winter, I would say, and then the opposite in the Southern Hemisphere. So those of you in down under, you'd probably see this heading into your summer skies, late spring, early summer. It's a really great constellation to see. And if we just jump ahead until Tuesday, December 6th, you'll notice that the Moon, it's very, very bright. But if you get out a pair of binoculars and you look towards just near the Moon, above the Moon for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, you'll see a very distinct cluster of stars. I talked about this last week as well. It's a fantastic cluster. I even talked about it on my Friday find. There was if you missed that show, I talked about this brand new finding regarding clusters and how star clusters evolve over time. A new discovery there. Check that out if you'd like. That's my Friday find. But this cluster, Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters, super bright. But because of the glare of the Moon, use binoculars on Tuesday. So again, this is Tuesday, December 6th. You'll find the cluster just near the Moon. Just use the Moon as a guidepost and then scan over to see that cluster. It's 444 light years away, and 7 stars are visible to the naked eye. Let me get some of these confusing stars. There's just way too many. Let me just get that down to something a little bit more manageable. There you can see, wow, we don't want to go that far. But here we go, yeah, something like that. So you can see here that cluster very clearly there. That's what you're looking for. And with a pair of binoculars, it's a cinch to find, even with the glare of the Moon. So check that out on Tuesday. That pairing is very beautiful. But then things get a little bit more interesting. Let's look at Wednesday night, December 7th. Boom. You'll see the Moon and Mars very, very close to each other. And what's going to be very interesting is that the Moon and Mars are actually going to meet up. This is Thursday. See how far the Moon has jumped down towards the horizon? Same time period. This is around 6 o'clock at night. And you'll see the Moon has, by Thursday, moved far off in between the horns of Taurus the Bull. But check on Wednesday night. The two are going to be close together. And in fact, Mars is going to be in opposition which means it's opposite exactly in our skies to where the sun is. It's a fantastic time to see Mars. And this is, again, Wednesday night, December 7th. If we magically kind of go into the orbital view, I'll show you what I mean when we say opposition. So Mars is out. Here's Mars way up close, but let's kind of zoom out, go above the plane of the solar system. You can see all the orbits of the moons of Mars there. And the red line represents that you see cutting across there. That's the orbit of the planet Mars. There's all the other planets. There's the sun. And what I want you to look at is where the sun is, where the Earth is, and where Mars is. Can you see that they're all in a perfect alignment? And then Mars is exactly on the opposite side of the Earth from the sun. And this is what we call opposition. And this happens every 2 years, about 26 months between our two planets. And when that happens, this is when we generally launch missions to Mars on these years. And this is a great time for observing the red planet for skywatchers, because the distance between our two worlds are quite close. In fact, the planet Mars is about 80 million kilometers away from us. Let's go back to our sky view here. All right, there we are. And if we magically kind of follow the Mars and Moon over the course of the night, check this out. I'm going to zoom in, okay? And by the way, the moon on Wednesday night will be a full moon as well. It's called the cold moon. December's full moon, appropriately for those of us in Northern Hemisphere, when it's the winter season, it's called the cold moon. So we'll have a full moon on Wednesday. Mars is at opposition. And guess what? These two worlds are going to meet. And for many of us, it's not just going to be a close encounter, but the moon will actually go in front of Mars. Here, as you can see, this is around 10:30 at night. I'm going to go by minutes now. And you can see from Montreal, this is what I will be able to see, hopefully with clear skies. As you can see, the red planet ducking in behind the planet, the moon. Look at that close up. Check this out. And this is like going by minutes. So 10:37, 10:38, 10:39. Look at that. Planet actually ducks behind the moon, and it will, you can see the crosshairs kind of blinking there, showing where Mars is located. Let's go back there. And as the minutes progress, you can see the crosshair very faintly on the screen there, guys, right in the middle. That's where Mars is behind the moon. And this is by 11:08, 11:10. And look, just on the other side, there is the planet again, peeking out, and this is at 11:28 p.m. Eastern Time. So this is the view that's going to happen for me here in Montreal. But a large part of North America and even Europe will see, and Northern Africa will get to see this, what's called an occultation, a lunar occultation, where the moon hides a planet or a star. In this case, it's the red planet, Mars. Now, details of who can see it and when, well, if we go to my website, I have a wonderful press release that's been prepared by the folks at Sky and Telescope magazine, a fantastic astronomy magazine. Highly recommend it. They cover everything that you could think of from A to Z in terms of astronomy. And I've shared their press release on my website. Here it is. This is what it looks like in the sky. There's a sky chart. But here is the viewing location. And this is what I wanted to share, is where you need to be on planet Earth to see Mars being hidden by the moon on Wednesday night. So everywhere in the shaded area is where you'll be able to see it. So most of Western and Central North America, except for those of you that are in the Southeast, will actually see the moon go in front of the planet. Also, all of Europe and parts of Northern Africa and parts of the Middle East as well. If you're located in anywhere in these regions, you'll see the moon hide the planet. Here's a little bit closer view. And by the way, if you're not in this shaded area, if you're anywhere on either side, you'll see the planet, red planet, get very, very close to the moon. Bring out those binoculars, bring out those telescopes. This is the time, the best time to see Mars, because it's at opposition. It's its biggest and brightest that it can get for 2 years. Plus, it's getting hidden by the moon. This is as great as it gets. And, here's some places of how the planet Mars will be tracking across the globe of the moon. For those of you like in Toronto, it'll be down in this southern part of the moon. Those of you, say, in San Francisco area, will see it cutting right across the middle. Seattle, a little bit north. And in Europe, well, you can see here at some places like Helsinki, Oslo, Berlin, Edinburgh, Paris, Rome, Madrid, Lisbon. These are some just example cities of what it would look like, where to look for Mars to tracking across the globe of the moon. So this is a really great press release. There's the times for the different cities. There's even a link to some more detailed for other cities as well. Check that out. I'm going to put this link of this really nice press release that's on my website. Put it in for you guys so you can peruse that article yourself. It's in the chat right now. Check that out, guys. Highly recommend it. So this is Wednesday night. You don't want to miss it. Mark it down on your calendar, because this is going to be fantastic to see the red planet actually get hidden behind the moon. This is a view, for instance, through a telescope. This is what you would see through a telescope. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Look at the planet. You can see the details of the planet, and imagine just seeing it on the side of the moon like that. What a view. So hopefully you have clear skies Wednesday night, December 7th. It happens late at night Eastern time. This is early morning hours of Thursday morning for those of you maybe perhaps on the West Coast of North America, but this is something that you want to check out. So if anywhere in the world, we will see Mars and the moon very close to each other on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and many of you will get a chance to see it get hidden. So I'm so excited, as you can tell. This is something really fun to see. It's dramatic, and I think you'll enjoy it. So check out, if I can see some questions from people, different places in the world, asking, is it visible? Check that link out. The maps are there for you, and you'll see if this is visible from where you are. But it's mostly North America and Europe and North Africa is the spot to be in generally. And everywhere else, you'll see a still dramatic close approach of the two worlds together. So again, this is Wednesday night. Is still all this action happening in the Taurus constellation, so you don't want to miss that. And let me just get it back a little bit earlier in time. There we go. And what's really neat is if we go into the next day, so this is, again, Wednesday night, Thursday night, the moon, still very near full. It'll appear almost full moon for all of us across the world, so really dramatic. Check that out. It'll leave behind the planet Mars, and it'll be kind of right in between the two bright stars. These are naked eye stars that mark the tips of the horns of Taurus the bull. That's where the moon will be, right in between. And of course, if you wait another day, you'll see, and let me just put it a little bit later, some of you asked about Orion. Well, Orion will be just off to the side of the moon on, again, this is going to be Friday night, December 9th, this action. And what will be interesting is that it'll be between the bright stars of Orion. There's Orion's belt, you can see in the middle. One of the stars, Betelgeuse, is distinctly orange, about 600 light years away. Marks the shoulder of one of the shoulders of Orion. We think it's going to go supernova, and it's probably within the next 100,000 years, anytime. We don't know when. And Betelgeuse is just super bright, easy to see, even within city limits. And then on the other side of the moon is the double star there, Castor and Pollux, the twin stars of Gemini, the twins constellation. So that's going to be really beautiful to see. And it'll be even more interesting by Saturday night, December This is December 10th, the view that I have right here. Look at where the moon is. The moon is going to form this beautiful right-angled triangle with the bright stars Castor, Pollux, and the moon. Just a gorgeous 3 bright objects close together. Bring out those binoculars. It'll really help the view, that's for sure. So check that out. It is incredible. Look at all the different things that we'll be able to see in the next few days. You got to see the lunar occultation of Mars. Please see that if you got a chance, if you're in the right place, or seeing them get close to each other Wednesday night. I'm crossing my fingers for clear skies. If I do have clear skies, I'll also live stream something. I'm going to see if I can capture that with my phone as well and share that with you guys. But you guys go out yourselves. It's something you don't want to miss. This is one of the best kind of fun things that you can see, and it's available for everyone. You don't necessarily need a telescope. Binoculars is enough to really catch this sight. So check that out Wednesday night. I'll be putting up more posts about this, and the link to that article about the lunar occultation of Mars is in the chat. So do check that out. All the information is there. Thanks to Sky and Telescope magazine, who's shared this wonderful press release. If you like all the stuff that I've been sharing, please do show your support by giving me a thumbs up for this video, and do subscribe to my channel, whether you're watching on Twitter, on YouTube, or perhaps on Facebook. I'd love for your support so I can continue bringing you these videos every week, sharing what you can see in the night sky. It's a lot of fun, and we can do it all together. And of course, if you're interested in learning more about astronomy, I invite you to check out my book, Backyard Guide to Night Sky. This is a handy, small soft cover book. I'll have dedicated copies, signed copies, available in the next few days. Stay tuned for an announcement on that, and I'll be shipping those out rapidly, hopefully in time for the holidays for you or a loved one who'd be interested. And if you're interested in really big books, my Stargazers Atlas was just released a little over a month ago. I'm the lead author on this amazing book by National Geographic. It's a coffee table book. It's a huge book, 6.5 pounds. It is enormous, and it's got tons of information, all the sky maps for Southern Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere, 88 constellations, you name it. It's got stuff like crazy. It's something that you might want to check out. I'll have links for that as well to those books. It's on my website, so you'll see it there. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you on Friday, perhaps, to see my Friday Find file. And until then, I wish all of you guys, as I always do, clear skies. Bye-bye.